Okay, so we're continuing with the Diamond Ranch Academy investigation. I think that's the best way to put it.
Yeah.
Welcome, Alexei.
Thank you, Marcus.
All right, so now we're going to take a look at the teaching staff and the actual curriculum that Diamond Ranch Academy says they provide to the kids. Their website states that all of our teachers have bachelor or master's degrees in their related areas of expertise and meet strict licensing requirements from the Utah State Office of Education and the Northwest Accreditation. So first on the list is Jerome Eason, who is the academic personnel director. He's also a therapist and a coach. So he's a busy guy.
Yeah.
I would assume that the academic personnel director is the person who hires the rest of the staff. That would make sense.
Right.
So Jerome has a Master's of Science in Professional Counseling.
Okay.
Looks like he studied substance abuse disorder treatment, has a bachelor's degree in criminal justice, and an associate's degree in sociology. So he's an experienced guy, and his work experience is as a supervisor at a residential treatment facility, a probation officer for the state of Utah. He was an athletic director at a boarding school, and now he's, and a program director and counselor at a therapeutic boarding school. It doesn't say which school, but that's who that guy is. So I would say he's relatively qualified to be in a position like that. You know, he's had a lot of education, done a number of things, not necessarily the person who would be running a school, though. I mean,
No.
he's a professional counselor, not a teacher,
Right.
but he's a counselor. So, okay. Then we have a gentleman by the name of Reeve Knighton, who has a master's in education. He's the director of academics and special education. So this is the principal of the school. BA in social science. He has an endorsement for social studies, grades 6 through 12, and special education, K through 12. So he's a real teacher.
Okay.
All right. And Mr. Knighton was a Washington County School District employee as a special education teacher from January 2001 to May 2002. Oh, a special education teacher assistant, excuse me. So for a year and a half or so, he was a special education teacher assistant at a school district. And then from 2003 to December 2003 to March 2006, he was a social studies teacher and program director at Diamond Ranch. And from 2006 to the present, he's a special education teacher and administrator at Diamond Ranch.
Okay.
So, all right. And he's a teacher. He's a social studies teacher, apparently. That's one. That's one teacher so far. He counts.
Okay.
And we have Michelle Swenson. Yeah. He gets a gold star because he's a real teacher.
Check.
Excuse me. Michelle Swenson, special education teacher. She has a bachelor's of science in education, exceptional education, mild to moderate, from Buffalo State College in New York. She has a master's of science in education, special education, mild to moderate, from Cal State University, Dominguez Hills in California.
Okay.
All right. Her work experience. It says, her little statement, my passion for working with students was sparked when I was 15 years old and had the opportunity to work at a camp with persons with special needs. I instantly fell in love with the field of special education and began a lifelong career. So, when people say special needs students, in just about every case, we're talking about people with autism, or they're developmentally disabled, or they have some other developmental issues that kind of go beyond what you would consider to be like a misbehaving kid. There's something like medical or psychological or even organically going on with this kid. It's not like, hey, that's a bad kid. Like, you better get him straightened up. So that's important to understand, because so far as we've looked through all the information about this place, there's really been no mention of any kind of it being like a special needs type of situation in that sense. This is more, your kid's not interested in school, they're skipping school, they're smoking weed, they're talking back, they're running away, they're being teenagers. They're not having issues where they're suffering from, like, well, I guess what would be called special needs. So it's really something to kind of be aware of, because it really makes it seem like this place is trying to, again, say there's something, or that they're not, or they're saying there are too many different things that they're not qualified to be. Okay. All right. So, she goes on to say, I have had the privilege of teaching in the field I am most passionate about, special education, since 1998, when I formally began teaching a first through third grade class in Garden Grove, California. Since then, I have taught every age group from kindergarten through middle school in a public school setting, college age kids at State University of Utah, and now high school age students at Diamond Ranch Academy. So right there, she's saying that what she specializes in and concentrates on is special needs, special education. Not normal classrooms, but something much more intensive. Okay. So then we have Ashley Riddle, who is an English/special education teacher. And she graduated from Southern Utah University in 2000. Major in history, minor in English. She has a secondary education license, meaning she can teach high school. And her work experience, from 2001 to 2002, she was a teacher at Box Elder Middle School for the 1 year. Then from 2002 to 2003, she taught at Monument Valley High School. Then from 2003 to 2004, she taught at Helper Junior High School. And now from 2004 to the present, she's at Diamond Ranch. So that's interesting. What happened there?
Yeah.
Like, why did she bounce in 3 years to 3 different schools? Well,
Right.
You know, I don't know. Then we have Deborah Skusen. She's a special education teacher. Okay, she has a Bachelor of Science degree from Southern Utah University, elementary education and special education, Master of Education degree from Southern Utah University, endorsements in mild to moderate special education, K through 12, elementary education, K through 6, extensive training experience in working with students on the autism spectrum. Okay. And her work experience is interesting. So, she was a special education teacher in the 6th grade at the Washington County School District from 1996 to 2001. So, 5 years, and then as a regular education teacher, 6th and 7th grade, from 2001 to 2004. Then as a regular education teacher, 2nd grade and 5th grade, from 2011 to 2013. Then as a special education teacher at a residential treatment center from 2015 to 2016. And now she's an academic support teacher at Diamond Ranch from 2016 to the present. So here's another teacher who's a real teacher and doesn't seem to be able to land a job for any length of time.
Right.
And there's a lot of movement here, and it really makes you wonder what's going on. You know, we don't know. But parents of kids who are either attending now or parents who are looking into this place and for whatever reason thinking of sending their kid here should really ask a lot of questions about like what's going on with these teachers, because time and time again we keep hearing about how great their curriculum is, taught by these fantastic teachers. So I'm not seeing that yet. Then we have, Stephen Howard, who is listed as a math teacher with absolutely no information. So we don't know anything about this guy, or where he went to school, where he used to work, nothing. Then we have Christian Neff, history teacher. And he has a Bachelor's of Science in Secondary Education and Social Studies, and the Bachelor of Science K through 12 Spanish Education. And his work experience from August 2002 to May 2003, he worked at Dixon High School in Dixon, Missouri. Then from 2003 to 2005, he taught at Sweet Springs High School in Sweet Springs, Missouri. And then he made a little change. From 2005 to 2006, he worked at J.P. Morgan Chase. Okay. And
wow.
Then August 2006 to May 2017, for 11 years, he worked at Ava High School in Ava, Missouri. So it looks like he landed for a long time at this high school, But then June 2017 to the present, he's now at Diamond Ranch for whatever reason.
Okay.
So there's yet another teacher who seems to have bounced around an awful lot. In my experience, like the teachers that I had in school, some of them are still there. Like, years, like they're old now, but and you can go back and say, oh yeah, I remember I had that teacher like way back. And, they happen to still be teaching there. It's pretty common. I mean,
yeah.
When you land a teaching job, I mean, it's what you went to school for years and years, and you get the gig and you're doing it, and you don't move around a lot.
No.
I mean, it just isn't. Okay. So then we have Rod Peterson, who is the art teacher and fine arts director. He has a bachelor's of art in art education, and then Andrew Durant, who's the drama teacher. He has a bachelor's of science in business management, so that's cool. I don't know how that qualifies him to be a performing arts director or drama teacher.
No.
His work experience includes he was a box office manager at Mystique Theater and Event Center in Pocatello, Idaho. And then he became the general manager of the same place. And then he became the general manager at Max Inn Resort in Island Park, Idaho. And then he became the owner of Center Stage Playhouse in Pocatello, Idaho. And then it looks like he bought Max Inn's Playhouse. And also, it looks like he owns a place called Radlin D Playhouse in Hurricane, Utah. So, I don't know, this guy's running some gin joints or something. What's going on with this guy?
Right.
He's a business management guy, and he owns all these theaters, but he also happens to be the drama teacher at Diamond Ranch and owns a playhouse just down the street in Hurricane. So that's weird.
Doing things.
He's doing things. It makes me wonder what the hell he's doing at Diamond Ranch. He should be running his playhouse or whatever.
Right.
Okay, then we have Brandon Lewis, they call him a special education paraprofessional. And he graduated from Hurricane High School and is currently working on a bachelor's degree in social science. So he's like a teacher's aide.
Okay.
He doesn't have to have a lot of experience to be a teacher's aide. It's cool.
Yeah.
His work experience includes he's a night watch supervisor at DRA, also a youth development counselor at DRA, which is interesting considering he has no background in youth or counseling.
Right.
Also, he's an ESL aide at Hurricane High School. ESL is English as a second language. That's basically teaching English to Spanish speakers.
Right.
And generally speaking, you really should have some teaching experience or even Spanish speaking experience certainly would help so you can help kids translate. And it doesn't say that he speaks Spanish, but maybe we'll give him the benefit of the doubt, I guess.
Yeah.
All right. Then we've got Stephen Mashad. He's the vocal coach, and he won a bunch of singing competitions. Well, he didn't win. He was involved in singing competitions. And, he's also an actor at Max Inn's Playhouse. So, he's in good with the drama teacher guy. So I wonder what's going on there. Those playhouses can get pretty rowdy.
It's after college, though.
Well, it's kind of like college. It's like a different kind of college. It's the college of hard knocks. Bathrooms and hard knocks. Sure.
Yeah.
All right. So we go on with the teaching staff. And I'll say this, so far, it seems pretty light to me. Like, I mean, there's a lot of kids here, right? I mean, at any given time. There's like, up to 200 kids. I mean, there's a lot going on.
Sure.
So far, we've had like 3 or 4 teachers, I think, total, who are real teachers, who are supposed to be certified in their field. Then we have Monica Stevenson, who's the registrar, and that's all we know about her. I guess she's signing these kids up for something. Then Alex Stuhler, she's an academic advisor with no information. I don't know what kind of advice she's giving, but she has no education or work experience listed. Then we have Chaz Hennessy, who is a PE teacher, also with no information. And finally, Toby Wright, who is listed as career and life sciences with no information. So really, when you look back at these people, I'll just scroll back for a second and see what we've got. A little summary here. All right, so we've got the academic personnel director, who's a therapist. We've got the principal, the director of academics, who is a teacher, special education teacher. That's one special education teacher. Then we've got an English teacher, another special education teacher, 3 special education teachers, a math teacher with no history, a history teacher with no listing of any kind of history. The history teacher has I guess social studies. Okay, we'll give him that. So it looks like we've got, and then we got a fine arts teacher and a drama teacher. And a few other, the vocal coach guy.
Somebody guessing math?
I mean, the teaching staff is really, they must be really busy.
Yeah.
Because here's the curriculum. Okay, so we have English 6, and I guess these are grades, 6, 7, 8, 9 honors, English 10 honors, American literature honors, British literature honors, AP English, social studies, world history, and then grades 6, 7, 8, U.S. history, world geography, modern U.S. history, U.S. government, personal financial literature. That didn't seem like a class, but okay. Economics, sociology, psychology, American presidents, current events, and science. There were no science teachers. I missed that.
No.
0 science, 1 math guy with apparently no background. Biology, earth science, physics, chemistry, anatomy and physiology, math, and all the math classes, algebra, geometry, calculus, college prep math, career and living skills, PE, team sports, health, visual arts, vocal performance, and theater. So I would count maybe 3 of those subjects that any of these teachers are qualified to teach. It's pretty bad.
It is.
Wow. I don't even know what to say, because I was thinking, you go through this stuff and you're like, okay, this place looks kind of iffy, and here's all these program directors and staff, and And then you think like, okay, well, when we get to the actual teaching academic staff, there must be like something pretty substantial going on there, considering how much money these people are spending to send their kids here. But then you get nothing.
Yeah.
So that's it. There's like not anything else to even like consider about their academics. Like that's all she wrote.
Wow.
And if we want to move on to, they have a medical staff. They have a doctor. I think it was briefly. We have an assistant medical director, and these people are all qualified as in medicine. There's a chiropractor. Go ahead.
Is there a psychiatrist?
Let's see. Yeah, okay. So, yeah, it looks like it. So we have a doctor, a medical doctor, and then Danny Werwood, MD, we might as well say their names. He's a doctor of medicine, and then we've got Brooks Wiley, assistant medical director, and Brooks Wiley is a psychiatric nurse practitioner. So it's close. He or she, I'm not sure, is a psychiatric nurse, which is not a psychiatrist. But
No, that's like
close.
an assistant. I remember having one of those there too, in Heritage as well. I remember. That's like the person that half of the kids see, and no
Gotcha.
prescriptions change when they're seeing the psychiatrist like once every 3 months as required. And then
right. She can prescribe probably, yeah, or
yeah,
that person.
but I don't think that. I think it would have to run through the doctor, but the notes would be then taken to the doctor if needed. But yeah, I don't think that's a psychiatrist. But I feel like
so there's. Yeah, it doesn't look like there's an actual psychiatrist. No.
Yeah, I feel like if you're going to be a therapeutic boarding program school, then you need to sort of like show most of all your credentials with your doctor, because that's who's going to be treating your child. That's going to be the main head authority there treating your child.
Right. It makes you wonder what an MD would be doing there. Like, you know, other than a psychiatrist. Like, why would you necessarily need a medical doctor on staff?
Mm.
And what are there medical issues that are going on that need like an on-site doctor? I don't know. Okay.
You know, I also,
you know what's interesting? I want to go back and talk about this doctor because I was in reading a little bit about what's going on with him. So,
yeah,
he's been the medical director for, it says, a little over 4 years. Seen kids come and go. Excuse me. Remember, this is a doctor like writing this or speaking this. So I've seen many students come and go from DRA and been impressed at the level of maturity they gain as they participate in the guided experiences that are offered by the school staff and therapists. Students learn coping skills that enable them to deal with the difficulties of life. With these coping skills, many students are able to stop medications for depression, anxiety, or ADHD that they have been on for years. Like, whoa, stop. So this doctor is saying that he's seen kids who come here and then stop taking their medications. And because this place is so, I don't know what, miraculous that they don't need medications that they've been on for years all of a sudden, that seems crazy to me.
that is
especially
really,
coming from a doctor.
Really, yeah, that's really scary. That's that's complete pseudoscience.
He goes on, it's such a contrast to see patients when they arrive at DRA and then again when they graduate. They arrive apprehensive, rebellious, and angry. That makes sense. Even any kid, troubled or not, would be apprehensive, rebellious, and angry if they were placed here. Especially if they weren't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, hey, no, my parents just sent me here. I'm cool. Like, I'm angry now. I don't want to be here. I don't need to be here. And he says they leave with confidence, hope, and ambition. So he goes on. I'm glad I went back to look at this because this is like the top guy, you know. He's the doctor. Like,
right.
He has all the authority. Like, nobody really can question him because of his credentials. So he says, my wife and I adopted a child who we later discovered has some pretty heavy emotional baggage. No shit. I know what it is like to send your child off to a program and not know if they are ever going to get well enough to come home or if they are going to be disadvantaged by missing out on regular school experiences. Not well enough to come home. So he adopted a kid from apparently, I don't know, an orphanage. And the kid had emotional baggage. And then he shipped him off to some program. Why did he even adopt the kid? That's crazy.
Because he gets money for that.
That's insane. So he says Diamond Ranch Academy provides a safe, healing environment where students can experience the joys and challenges of regular school. That's bullshit. This is not regular school. We just went through their school, and they don't have nearly enough teachers to teach the classes that they say they teach. So it's not regular at all. And it's also like filled with special education teachers. We need to talk to some of these students, like to find out if they're retarded. And I mean that with like all due respect, like, because if it's like, I don't even know. That's when I said, why I said when we're about to record this part that it was totally crazy. Like, you know, then he goes on to say, I would have no reservations about having my son at DRA. I'm proud to be a part of this program. But apparently he didn't have his kid at DRA. He sent his kid off to a different program and didn't know if he was ever going to get well enough to come home. I mean, we don't even know if he came home.
No.
So no psychiatrist. We got a psychiatric nurse and a crazy-ass doctor. We have a doctor of chiropractic medicine for some reason. Medical technician. Medical manager, Kayla Abbott, who's listed as a medical manager. She has an associate's degree in nothing from Dixie State College. And for some reason, she's a medical manager. Medical tech, weekend staff supervisor, another youth developmental counselor. Oh, she was a cashier at Buck's Ace Hardware. And she's an O&A counselor at Diamond Ranch Academy. That's her work experience. So, again, that homeless level or observation and assessment level, we've got someone called a medical manager who has zero medical experience or of any kind, observing and assessing these new coming kids who the doctor says are angry and apprehensive, and they got this chick watching them. Like, what the hell is going on?
Right.
Man, you know, it's just, I am so glad that I was never put into a position to have to personally, like, go to a place like this or be in a position where I was a parent, they didn't know any better and sent a kid to a place like this. Because if I was hearing this stuff now as a parent of a rebellious child who might need some guidance or therapy, perhaps even, or just a willing ear to listen to the daily problems that a teen might suffer. Like if I heard about this place and places like it, I'd be pissed.
Yeah.
Like I would be so upset.
Yeah.
Like $10,000 a month for this shit.
Right.
Yeah. And then we got athletics. I don't know. Brigham McClaws. Nice name. So he's a campus director and athletic director. He graduated from Hurricane High School. He's currently working on his bachelor's degree in business psychology at Dixie State University. So that guy's full of it.
Yeah.
And that's the medical staff. Big pile of shit.
This is the most unqualified, place to send your child to. I mean, these people are just completely unqualified.
But aren't they all like this, though? I mean, this place calls themselves like the premier, like right in their literature on their website, like we're the best.
Yeah.
Like maybe they are the best. That's frightening.
Yeah.